Hello, property nomads. Hope you're doing well. Sorry, it's been a little while since a video, reminiscence of man flu and a really bad voice and looking like rubbish. Probably doesn't make for the best video content. So apologies for a little delay there in a video. But there's plenty to go through. And the purpose of today's video is really looking at the recent IT outage that affected quite a lot of people around the world. In fact, at the time of recording this video, it's still ongoing. And I learned a lot of lessons from that. And really, it was that having a cashless society is a very dangerous idea. Because if you start with anything in life and you have a single point of failure, in this case, an IT system, when that thing fails, then that's just not good for a lot of people, unless you've got other ways around that. Now, there's so many different articles to go through about the IT outage. I'm not going to go through every single one I've seen, but there's been people affected by lower cost airlines who had their boarding passes on their phones, weren't able to board because of this IT malfunction. And then as a result of that, the airline has printed the boarding passes, but where they're a budget airline, they then charge the customers, I think it was £42 per boarding pass. Now that's a bit crazy, and that's just one of the multitude of stories. People that are not able to access their online banking, people that were not able to access actual banks that still physically exist because they couldn't do anything because of IT failure. So chaos at airports, chaos in the banking system. And I'm sure that if you were checking into, I don't know, hotels or checking in pretty much anywhere, doing anything, you might have had a bit of an issue as well. So really the premise of this video is to say that a cashless society is not a good thing. Having a single point of failure, like we have seen with this big IT outage, isn't a good idea. So you need protection, because what we've got to do is we've got to think that in a time and in a place and in an era where we're so dependent on something, what if something goes wrong? Now, there's plenty of people out there, myself included, could be a bit doomsday-ish with regards to planning and preparation, but you never know what's going to happen. A black swan event, for example, or again, something like after the world's IT just shuts down for whatever technical reason happened. But let's fast forward and think what could happen moving forwards. So let's just say we do get into a state of warfare or cybersecurity attacks. Let's just say that turns into warfare. I mean, it could happen. So what if someone shuts down the IT systems? What if someone shuts down the banking system? What happens then? What happens if you need to get some cash out for something, but you're not able to because the ATMs don't work or the bank is not able to process the withdrawals? What if you're not able to access online banking as a result? What if, as a result of a cybersecurity attack, the banks are closed and you can't access online banking and you haven't got the ability to take cash out, but you need to pay for things or you need to go food shopping, whatever it might be? What happens then? This is crucial why it's important to, number one, have cash on hand. So keep building that reserve, and you know, they call it the rainy day fund, putting it under your bed, all that sort of stuff. It's why it's important to have that, because you never know. Secondly, in a time where all those things are taken offline and these things happen, then how are you then going to transact? Could you transact in Bitcoin? Maybe, but what if the network's down? Could happen. That's where people start talking about gold and silver. Gold and silver, no counterparty risk, universally accepted. People know what it is. People can put a value on it. And if you get a time, or we get a time where, again, the banks are closed, no one can transact, no access to online banking, all of the above, and it all goes peaked on, then you're going to want something to be able to buy stuff with, or something to fall back on, a plan B as such. That's where you want gold and silver. Now, gold and silver bugs get a bit of a bad rep sometimes. And again, I'll hold my hands up. I'm a little bit of a doomsdayer as well. But I'd rather be prepared for something that doesn't happen than not be prepared for something that could happen. Purely because, number one, you never know. But secondly, if that time or that thing were to happen and you're prepared, great for you. This is why you see people buying up farmland. This is why you see people buying up gold and silver. This is why you see people buying up physical assets, water, anything that's a resource, because people can see what's coming down the line, and what's coming down the line isn't very pretty, not very good at all. And it's amazing that even with, say, the internet, or in this case, an IT issue, how much we take these things for granted. Again, checking in at airports or going to buy something, checking your online banking, going to get some cash out of the ATM, going to the bank, doing whatever it is you're doing, and all of that, boom, taken down by a system malfunction. Funnily enough, happens on the same day that the markets decide to slam as well, but that's that's for a different video, but you can make of that what you will. Oh, also a good point, just laughing about the markets, trading. So there's a lot of issues with a lot of big stock exchanges around the world as well. Now imagine you're in a scenario where you want to get rid of a stock, or you want to buy a stock, or let's just use sell because you're in panic mode for whatever reason. You might not have been able to do that during the IT issues. So you want to try and liquidate assets or stocks or whatever. You wouldn't have been able to do so. Well, a majority of people wouldn't have been able to do so. It's funny how all that works. Anyway, the premise of this video is to say that really start thinking about plan B. Plan B could be as simple as buying some gold and silver. Plan B could be thinking about getting permanent residency, temporary residency in a different country. Plan B could be just about thinking, I'm not even going to say out of the box, I'm just going to say with logic, with practicality, because you never know when situations are going to occur. I was speaking to someone a week or two ago about the possibility of conscription. It could happen. We just don't know. Conscription could be anywhere from 18 to 30, in which case I'll hold my hands up. It would be great not to qualify for that. But anyone could easily turn around and go, well, no, 18 to 50, if you're able-bodied, you're in, off you go. I mean, we might laugh and think that, yeah, that's not going to happen. But it could happen. That's the thing. It could absolutely happen. You never know. This is why we have to be prepared. This is why I would say to you, this is not advice. I'm not an RFA. Please do study the advantages that gold and silver have. And also, hopefully this IT outage, if it has affected you in any way, it's now got to the point where you started to think, well, hang on a minute, I might not need everything or want everything in the system here, because if the system goes because we've got a single point of failure, then we go. And that's not a very healthy situation to be in. Well, one small favor to ask, please do subscribe to the channel where we're seeing a nice uptick in numbers. And that's all thanks to you for liking, subscribing, and then sharing the content that we're producing. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.